Hey, welcome back to the live stage. Joining me now is Kiki Saintonge and Stephen Moyes from the Windows UI team. I'm Burke Holland, and we're here to talk about what's new in React Native for Windows. So here's the deal. I'm a web developer, so I know what React is. It's what all the cool kids are doing these days. What exactly is React Native?
So, as you may be familiar with, React is the web framework that Facebook uses to develop Facebook on the browser, basically. And they wanted to go cross-platform. They wanted to make apps on the store because they wanted to spread their Facebook across everything. And so, but they wanted to utilize the same devs, the same tech, the same tools, and the same ecosystem that they were familiar with as developers when they were developing for cross-platform. So their solution to that was to create React Native, where everything is still in JavaScript, and they get to keep all of the same JavaScript business logic that they wrote in React, and they get to keep the same ecosystem that they had as web developers, but instead of deploying their app to the browser, they're deploying it to actual apps on the device endpoints that they're testing for.
Gotcha. So this is addressing that fundamental problem of some people have an iPhone.
Yes.
Those people are right. And then other people have an Android phone. And you have to write two different code bases to target each one of those devices. And so this one allows you to have one code base that targets both.
Yeah, and the nice thing about React Native is that certain components that they're using that they decided they didn't need to write in JavaScript because there was awesome, very performant components on those devices themselves, that React Native just goes, hey, I'm just going to translate down and use the native component that I would expect on that device, and that really helps the users of those particular ecosystems feel at home when they're using Facebook on iOS or Android.
Gotcha. So what does it have to do with Windows?
So today we have decided to write sort of a Windows extension plugin so that if you're coming from the web and you really want to use your web tech skills, and you want to use React Native and you want to target iOS and Android, we're like, hey, we're also available for you to target Windows as well.
Right. So you can target like phones and you can target desktops, is that correct?
Yeah, and be right in the Windows Store and at home with all the other Windows UWP applications.
All right. Well, let me ask this question then, because it seems relatively clear, Stephen. What about Xamarin? Doesn't Xamarin already do those things?
Yeah, it's a really good question. Xamarin is a really great platform for using your .NET and XAML skills to write applications that you can deploy to Android or iOS or Windows. And we really love the Xamarin technology. But React Native is about using a different set of skills. So React Native is about using React and JavaScript or TypeScript to, again, deploy natively to iOS, Android, and Windows. It's all about what skills you want to use. Like if you're coming from a .NET shop and you want to make cross-platform apps, Xamarin is a really good choice for you. But if you want to re-leverage your web skills, React Native is a great platform for you.
I got you. So it's just kind of using the skills that you already have instead of having to learn new skills.
Yep, that's exactly right. We're trying to meet you where you're at.
Gotcha. So as a web developer, when I think about writing native apps in JavaScript, the first thing that I wonder is, can you then also like share code between web apps and native apps? Like, is that a possibility?
Absolutely. So that was one of the huge benefits that Facebook wanted to carry over from, because they always had a ton of logic that they'd written in React, which is the web framework they used to make Facebook. And they had a ton of business logic, web service calls, all that stuff that they'd written in JavaScript. And they're like, we want to be able to carry this same experience cross-platform so that people expect certain scenarios to still work on their apps and in iOS and Android and potentially on Windows as well. So yeah, all of the code that you've written in JavaScript or TypeScript can pretty much one-to-one get translated over.
Wow, so you could do some code sharing there, which is great. So let me ask you this. It sounds great in theory, but I know that there are a lot of other frameworks out there that do this. They transpile or compile down to some sort of like a native, sit on top of a native runtime. Why is it that Microsoft chose to implement React Native for building Windows applications? Why not something else?
So, sorry.
Go for it.
I think there's really two major benefits for using React Native. One of them is that you can use your web skills and use that same code base across all of your different endpoints. It's the same code that you can use to target iOS or Android natively. And we should talk just a sec about what a native app is. Like a native app is fundamentally an application that feels at home on that device. And so on iOS, it looks like an Apple app. On Android, it looks like a material design app. And on Windows, it feels like a great Fluent app because it's truly native. And so even though several other platforms allow you to create similar sorts of experiences, the React Native platform is really great because you can actually make it feel very at home on that platform. So
right, and it feels natural. I think we used to talk about that sort of uncanny valley effect where when the app isn't native, like developers and users, they can kind of tell, and they're like, something's not quite right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. I think really like the value of any tech is sort of predicated upon who's actually using it, right? Like one of the reasons that a lot of JavaScript developers adopt Facebook is adopt React is for the exact reason you gave, which is that Facebook did it, it works, and so I know that if I adopt it, it's also going to work at scale because my scale is never going to be that big. So, who's using React Native currently?
So tons of people are using React Native currently. Actually, we're giving a breakout session tomorrow at 4:30. And we're going to go into a little bit more depth of exactly our internal and external partners. Like the Office is a big consumer of React Native right now, for Windows in particular. But we also have a lot of external partners that are using it as well that we would love to show during that session.
So come to the session, you can find out who's using it. Yes,
yeah.
I did read about some big names, which I won't mention here. But yeah, it's very cool. So I was watching the live stream from the event that we had recently where they were talking about the new hardware, which is always my favorite events, like the hardware. I don't know what it is. Like I can't get enough hardware.
Great, yeah.
But what about stuff like the upcoming Windows 10X, I believe, or like the Surface Duo, which I got to figure out how to get my hands on. I mean, are these apps going to be able to target those platforms as well, or am I locking myself into something that won't work later on down the road?
So React Native is a really great platform for targeting Windows devices and Android devices. Your question is very timely because, at the Surface event, we talked about Windows devices and Android devices. And although we don't have anything to share specifically at this moment in time, ultimately underneath the covers on React Native for Windows, we're using the native platform. And the native platform is going to appear on Windows devices. And so React Native is a really great option if you're trying to target Windows and Android.
Absolutely, and let me ask you about the local development experience because that's interesting to me. What does that look like for developers? If I'm not using Xcode or I'm not using IntelliJ or whatever Android IDE I'm using, what am I using to write React Native? Am I using my standard text editor? How does that work?
Yeah, it's your preferred text editor. So for me, I use Visual Studio Code. But if you want to use Notepad++, or if you want to use Atom, any text editor would work for you. You could just use Notepad and edit the text raw if you prefer to do that too. Any text editor that you would use to edit JavaScript works as well for React Native.
And can you run it locally and do the debugging and all of that stuff as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It launches a small server. It has the debugger right in your browser, and then it'll deploy to a virtual machine or an actual connected device or your Windows developer platform if that's what you're using. And you'll edit the code in whatever text editor of your choice, and it'll just update the way it would if you were developing for the web.
And is there like a debug loop? Can I set breakpoints and do all those sorts of things?
Yes, absolutely. Visual Studio Code has some plugins that allow you to sort of help make that process a lot smoother. And right now we're actually working with them to get a plugin that helps developing for Windows using React Native a lot easier. But they have a whole host of plugins today that just make React Native development in general easy to use.
Sure. So Stephen, let me ask you again. I want to ask you another honest question here, which is, if you have an app that's running on JavaScript, are you taking a performance hit versus just writing a straight native app here?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I mean, one of the biggest benefits, I think, of React Native is that it's just a native app at the end of the day. It runs natively on the hardware as if you had written a native app, which means that you have the greatest user experience, the best accessibility, and awesome performance too, because at the end of the day, it's a native app. And so that's a little bit different than if you're using a hosted technology like Electron, for example, which is effectively an app that's running in a browser. There's a lot more performance overhead, but in React Native, it's just a native app, and so yeah, I mean, ultimately there's a little bit of performance overhead. There's a JavaScript diffing engine for layout and things like that, so there is a little bit of overhead compared to a native application, but it really does have great performance.
It sounds like it's negligible in the overall scheme of things. In other words, not something that would be immediately perceptible by the
if you're targeting multiple platforms, that's so negligible. It's worth it to take that little tiny extra hit just so you can just to hit a whole bunch of users that you wouldn't hit otherwise.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Everybody, you can check out React Native. And if you're a JavaScript developer, build native apps for Windows. And it sounds like pretty much everything else, too. Just
Yes.
get them all in one shot. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
As promised, coming up on our live stream is our breakout session, Visual Studio Code Tips and Tricks, which sounds really good. Followed shortly after that by another session, the modern Windows command line, which I believe is about the new Windows terminal. Also very exciting stuff. We'll see you after that. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks, guys.